Kazan is often called the third capital of Russia, after Moscow and St. Petersburg. Kazan has an incredibly rich and thrilling history. Here, Tatars and Russians live side by side. On the same street, one can encounter an Orthodox church and a mosque. It is to this very city that we're heading in order to meet a wonderful person, Sagit Dzhaksibayev.
Kazan, тысячелетний город, богатый.
Kazan, a city with a rich ancient history, a city where I've lived for more than 50 years, where I received my education, found an interesting job, met friends.
В котором я получил образование, в котором я нашел интересную работу, своих друзей.
A city where I created my own family, a city with a rich architecture, boldly looking towards the future.
Смело смотрящие в будущее. Hoş geldiniz Kazan'a.
Kazan is the capital of one of the most distinct people, the Kazan Tatars. It is located almost in the heart of modern Russia, on the left bank of the Volga River, where the river Kazanka flows into it. Kazan is described as the most eastern city of the western cities and the most western of those located in the east. Sagit Dzhaksibayev is a true academic, a brilliant theoretician and a relentless empiricist. But in the beginning of the 90s, he decided to dedicate himself to public life. Sagit was born in Kazakhstan, but through twist of fate, having come to Kazan, he ended up staying here.
Так, мы перед главным зданием Казанского ордена Трудового Красного Знамени Авиационного.
We are in front of the main building of the Kazan Order of the Red Banner of Labor National Aviation Institute, named after Tupolev. Right now it's called differently, but in my time that was its name. In 1963, a young Kazakh boy arrived here in order to conquer the cosmic space of the universe. There was a certain degree of romanticization of it all. This is a great aviation institute. I graduated in 1969 and stayed on to continue further research.
Я его закончил в 1969 году и был в нем оставлен для научной работы.
Было предложение оставить его в нашем университете.
There was a proposal to keep him at our university. At that time, we were working on the research of creating targets for MiG planes. A decision was made to create a completely new faculty, of flight dynamics and control. And we needed researchers. And where would we find them? Of course, we invited the best students, including Sagit Dzhaksibayev. Technically, he's the first colleague of our faculty.
Лучших студентов мы пригласили, вот в том числе Сагит Кадабаевич, он по существу первый сотрудник нашей кафедры.
Kazan Aviation Institute played a decisive role in the life of our hero. At the end of his studies, he was noticed, and for his inquisitive mind and diligence, he was offered to stay on to begin an academic career. Without taking much time to consider, he accepted, and it was the right decision. The institute gave him an opportunity to fully realize his potential in the field of science.
Так, мы с вами около одного такого значительного.
Right now we're close to one of the monumental historical sites of Kazan. This is the Kazan Imperial University, and in 1844, the Khan of the Bouquet Horde, Khan Jahangir, was named after the honorable member of this university.
Хану Букейской орды Джангиру. И в эту честь уже много лет спустя потомки.
In honor of this, many years later, the ancestors of Khan Jahangir from the Kazakh community set up a memorial wall at the Kazan University dedicated to Khan Jahangir. Our path is leading towards the Kazan Federal University Library named after Lobachevsky, where Sagit participated in the setup of the memorial wall dedicated to Jahangir Khan. There, a meeting awaits us with his friend and a like-minded comrade.
Вот эта дружба особенно как-то укрепилась в связи с личностью замечательного человека, гражданина Казахстана.
Our friendship was strengthened by the life of such an incredible person from Kazakhstan, Jahangir Khan, the Khan of the Bouquet Horde, who's done a lot for the development of the Kazan University.
Очень хотел, чтобы молодые казахи учились в Казанском университете. Он привез в Казань рукописи восточные и подарил нашей научной библиотеке.
He really wanted young Kazakh people to study here. He brought ancient Eastern manuscripts to Kazan and left them as a present to the library. We are grateful for these manuscripts, which are very rare, valuable, and unique, and are now in the possession of the library named after Lobachevsky.
Имени Лобачевского.
Old friends who do not get to meet as often as before, of course, have a lot to talk about, remember, and discuss. One of the unequivocal landmark sites of Kazan is the new matrimonial palace. The 40-meter structure symbolizes a Kazan, or a cauldron, above a blazing hearth where family life is buzzing with its joys and surprises. The bas reliefs which adorn the walls of the structure symbolize abundance, fertility, and wishes of happiness. It is a beautiful sight. Kazan, the riverbank, and a huge pot filled with familial happiness. Conventional and warm, just like the home of the hero of our program.
В 1969 году, когда я закончил, я женился.
In 1969, after completing my studies, I got married. In my 5th year, it was winter, and I entered a cafe, and there was a young woman sitting behind one of the tables.
Она встала и ушла, а подруги ее и остались.
She got up and left, but her friends stayed. I started asking them about her. They told me that they're staying in a hotel and that they're from the city of Yelabuga. The next day, I found her. In the end, we got married.
Ну и в конце концов женился. 2 детей у нас.
We have 2 children. Our daughter was born in 1969, and 10 years later, our son, Marat.
Через 10 лет сын вот Марат родился.
Our first day in Kazan has come to an end. The sun is setting and the city's nightlife takes over. After work, people are not in a hurry to get home because there's so much to see and do in the city. Today, Kazan is a modern and dynamic city where the energy of life does not cease for even a second. It is a city of smiling and beautiful people, a city with a rich cultural life. The House of the Friendship of Peoples today is the main focus of the efforts of our hero. Many milestones of his life are connected with this organization. He's done a lot of important work here, has made tough decisions, participated in historical events. The house which he has helped to establish is a house where he's always welcome.
Это было 23 года тому назад.
It was 23 years ago, precisely when Sagit Dzhaksibayev, a young scientist, established this organization, and by its example, other autonomous cultural associations were established.
На его примере начали создавать другие национальные культурные автономии, и появилась необходимость объединиться.
A need arose to unite in order to be able to voice their needs before the governmental representatives. That was when the Association of National Cultural Unions was established, uniting 9 autonomous national cultural and social organizations. The House of Friendship of Peoples is a unique entity in terms of its representation and spirit. Its name is perfectly fitting for conveying the aim of its establishment and reason for existence. This is a house, the doors of which are open to everyone who comes as a friend, and of course one can meet here representatives of the most diverse nationalities from all over the world.
Вот его у нас называют аксакал, аксакал, как на Востоке принято.
People call him Aksakal here, as it is a custom in the East, a title reserved for wise male elders.
Нести вот это бремя. Я думаю, что он это заслуженно.
And I think that not every person deserves such an honor, and not every person can bear its burden. In the case of Sagit, it is well deserved. It is not only us who call him Aksakal, but also the head of the government of Tatarstan.
Ему уже ничего доказывать не надо. Я считаю, что он парус какой-то. Вот парус, там меч.
The Aksakal of the national, international, and interconfessional movements. He has nothing to prove. He's like the midshipman leading us towards something. And this something is what we see right here, right now. The Assembly of the People of Tatarstan, which was established in 2007. This is largely the achievement of Sagit Dzhaksibayev. He laid the foundation.
Вы знаете, с возрастом, видимо, приходит понимание того, что вот то, что ты...
You know that with age comes the understanding that someone must continue the work that you've started. A couple of years ago, we started to actively work on the creation of a youth wing of the Assembly of the People of Tatarstan.
Первые ростки, естественно, были в рамках казахской общины.
Initially, the Kazakh community was the most active. It should be noted that Kazakhstani youth is very patriotic. This cannot be described nor made up. When the Kazakhstan's anthem is playing, they all stand up, and you can see how genuinely proud they are, and how they root for their teams during contests and competitions. They are the most adamant and enthusiastic fans.
Такие ярые, оголтелые болельщики. И за этим стоит вообще истинная...
And behind all this is a genuine feeling of patriotism and love for Kazakhstan. Like any serious entity, it worries about the transfer of the reins and foundational meanings into reliable and strong hands. Thus, a youth wing of the organization was established where young people come to make their contribution and in turn receive the historical legacy of time, new friends, and the wisdom of the elder generations. For me personally, Sagit Dzhaksibayev, first of all, is a very respectable person. A person who has achieved so much. He's educated, sets clear goals, and knows exactly what he wants. One can always rely on him. He inspires and energizes by his own example. To always be with him and support him. And of course, we could not skip the world-renowned Kazan Kremlin. As soon as we carved out a free minute, that was where we headed. The rich history of Kazan, the famous Kazan Kremlin. This is one of the favorite places of the people of Kazan and its guests. It was precisely with this fortress that the history of Kazan began. Unassailable, located at a strategic height, fenced off from all three sides by unpassable rivers, woods and swamps. That was the idea behind how Kazan began its establishment. The fortress was conquered and destroyed numerous times, but after each time it was reconstructed, becoming more captivating and powerful. Aside from the fact that Kazan is a very unique city, it is also very old. In 2005, the 1,000-year anniversary of Kazan was celebrated.
За нами символ казанского.
Behind us is the symbol of the Kazan Kremlin, the falling tower of the Jibek princess. According to the legend, in order not to marry a prince from overseas, she ordered to have this tower built and then jumped out of it. But this is just a legend. Further on, there is the residency of the president of Tatarstan.
Там резиденция президента Рустема Нургалевича Миниханова. И слева здесь собор, Богоявленский собор.
On the left is the Epiphany Cathedral. This is a historical building.
И справа, а сзади от нас мечеть Куль-Шариф.
On the right and behind is the Kul-Sharif Mosque, which was built for the 1,000-year anniversary of Kazan in the place of the old mosque.
Исторически бывшей мечети Куль-Шариф. Вот это вот соседство.
Here are the neighboring Orthodox church and a Muslim mosque. It is a symbol of Tatarstan and a symbol of Kazan.
Символ Татарстана, символ Казани.
The friends of our hero are old comrades tested by time, and their fruitful friendship and work have become so interwoven that they can no longer be separated.
С Сагитом Кадыбаевичем мы проработали вместе больше 20 лет.
I worked together with Sagit Dzhaksibayev for more than 20 years. We studied together. He was 2 years ahead of me. We met up often while living in the dormitory. He was responsible for the discipline and order. The students regarded him as very strict. Our joint academic work was devoted to a very serious topic: development of economic and mathematical models for the electronic industry and overall for the entire defense industry.
Мы работали вместе, отдыхали вместе.
We worked together, went on holidays together, built our summer houses together, and went on to gather mushrooms together, and so on. This cannot be separated. Our life was just very balanced. There was harmony, total harmony in our lives.
Дружба у нас крепкая осталась, постоянно встречаемся.
We're still close friends. We meet regularly, celebrate various occasions, birthdays. Overall, we're still inseparable. At the end of our adventure, we simply had to pay a visit to the home of Sagit Dzhaksibayev. Unfortunately, both his wife and daughter were away on the trip at the time. However, we had the pleasure of looking at the family photo albums and taking part in the evening meal of father and son. We had a wonderful time in the company of a truly wise and interesting person. We had the opportunity to visit many sites of the beautiful city of Kazan, among which are historical monuments, scientific centers, modern architectural masterpieces, countless lakes and rivers, and of course the House of Friendship of Peoples. We met very interesting people, and despite how much we enjoyed the company in the city, it is time for us to move on. Goodbye, Kazan, and to our viewers, until next time.